Hello, everybody. Welcome to Clarity in Commerce. If you haven't been with us before, this is an interview series brought to you by the Mars Agency, where we host candid conversations about game-changing trends in commerce with some of the talented and forward-thinking professionals that we get to work with on a regular basis as clients and partners. Now, there is no trend that is changing as many games as retail media these days. In fact, in my 25 or so years covering this industry, I've rarely seen a topic that is as hot as retail media is right now. It's not the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's the greatest thing since bread, if you listen to the hype. But it's having a major impact, not just on shopper marketing, but on the entire marketing landscape. We've got no better person to talk about this hot topic than our guest here today, and she is Cara Pratt, who is Senior Vice President of Kroger Precision Marketing, the retail media arm of Kroger, the nation's largest grocer. Now, if you know anything about retail media at all, you know all of the facts I just mentioned in that sentence. KPM is one of the leading retail media networks. It's one of the longest operating retail media networks, and it's one of the most respected. And Cara is one of the foremost thinkers in the space. She is one of the true pioneers, if you can use a term like pioneer for something that really hasn't been around for a whole lot of time. But we are delighted to have you with us here today, Cara. Thank you so much for being here.
Peter, it's so lovely to be here. Thanks for having me. And there's nothing I'd rather talk about than retail media and the changing advertising ecosystem and just the evolution that is underway that we're influencing. So appreciate the time and look forward to our conversation.
Then, of course, retail media has moved well beyond retailer.com, right, and is covering all areas of digital media. Now, can you talk about why that has become so important to the mix and some of the things that KPM has been doing in that area?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I think back to, some of the earlier commentary about, tech-driven change and consumer-driven change. It really, the addressability of media is happening, across full funnel. We think about connected TV and the addressability that's happening and the changing behavior that's happening through linear and cable into the advanced TV space as well. In the end, we want to make sure that we can be wherever our customers are spending time and consuming media. We want to be a really important bridge for publishers to make sure that the assets that they have can work as hard as they can. That means that they can tie the same tenets that we have about relevancy, ad relevancy, to engagement, to connection with customers, and it's making those publisher ecosystems work even harder. So we've been intentional with building those trusted bridges, with making sure that we're unleashing the science that we have in the audience intelligence and enabling that to show up in their platforms as well. We have relationships with Pinterest. We announced a relationship with Snapchat last year. We've been working with Roku for many years now, Pandora. There's a huge opportunity to leverage the intelligence that we have and to make those publisher ecosystems work harder. And that's what we're seeing the advertiser interest there, because it works, it performs. And at the end of the day, again, effectiveness will matter, and making sure that we can do it at scale, which influences efficiency, is really important. Specific to your question on KPM and where have we been, I mentioned some of the specific publisher direct relationships that we have been building out within our portfolio over the last few years. In 2021, the fall of 2021, that's when we first announced our self-serve private marketplace for programmatic display. And then over 2022, we've been very intentional in making sure that we had the right SSP connections to support and scale through CTV and video as well. And so again, how do we make sure we're allowing advertisers to access our audiences, to buy media within their DSP of choice and optimize performance based off of retail metrics like sales? That's been critical. That's been a big part of the portfolio evolution for us. And we're excited to continue to build upon that, to learn together. The ad tech ecosystem, as we all know, is really fluid. And we know that means that we're going to continue to evolve. We're going to continue to innovate. We're going to continue to drive really important advertiser return and ultimately, do that through customer relevance. Okay.
Now, of course, another direction that networks are going is into the physical store, the brick and mortar store. That's an area that a lot of CPGs are very excited about as a way to kind of align what they've been doing traditionally
Yeah.
with what they're doing with retail media. Can you talk a little bit about what KPM is doing in this area, what in-store opportunities you're bringing to the mix?
Yeah, we've been really intentional with where we're executing things in-house within KPM, and where it's really important for us to continue to leverage the best-in-class assets of external partners as well. And a lot of that with external partners happens through our in-store environment. We have a full suite of touch points with various partners, whether it's audio partners, whether it's partners that are influencing some of the traditional couponing mechanics that happen in store, whether it's digital or physical signage that's happening in our stores. It's a really important ecosystem to continue to nurture, because we know that there's a lot of traffic that's coming into our physical stores day in and day out. And how do we create that sense of discovery, connection, and exploration within our physical stores? We continue to focus on data science to explore how we can bring all these things together. We want to make sure that we're continuing to leverage the intelligence on and understanding about how digital touch points are influencing physical sales. And we also know that there's a heck of a lot of change that's happening in that space, and the expectations of how consumers are using digital means to discover, to then influence what a buy happens in a physical store. So I'd say that the in-store proposition is a really important part of the proposition. The digitization that's happening in store is exciting. It's needed, right? We need to make sure that we're continuing to sharpen the environment of our physical stores just as much as we are for digital advertising. So, it's been a long-term ecosystem for us to continue to evolve, and I'm really excited about what the next 2 to 5 years will mean with respect to how our physical stores transform to support the expectations that our consumers have. And the leverage points that happens through digital. I think some of the experience can happen through digital means, through a digital device, but it can still happen when you're in a physical store, right? So how do we work through some of the alerting mechanics that can take shape as well through Kroger's app and other means?
Okay, and I guess this is a similar question, but maybe from a more strategic viewpoint. But how is KPM working with the rest of Kroger, with the marketing and the merchandising teams to help brand partners develop total retail programs?
Yeah, I love that question. One, we have really important relationships and partnership with the wider Kroger ecosystem, whether it's through Kroger's tech and digital team, whether it's through Kroger digital merchandising, whether it's Kroger media, Kroger marketing, Kroger merchandising. Of course, like, we are one family, and we're trying to influence and support and drive connection with customers to drive brand growth. Ultimately, that is the end goal. So we have to have the right relationships, the right connection, the right clarity into a common purpose. And I'm really proud of the work that we do together as a cohesive team. At the same point, I'm really proud of the commitment that we've maintained on KPM, which is, hey, we've got to earn every dollar invested within our assets. This isn't about any CPG feeling like they have to invest in our assets. No, we have to earn it. And that's critically important. So yes, of course, we have deep connections with many different functional teams, leaders across the Kroger company. And at the same time, we, of course, are holding the investments near and dear to our heart, and making sure that we're supporting and delivering against the business outcomes that they're looking to drive, just as they would with any other media company. So it's been an awesome partnership that we'll continue to build on, and the criticality of visibility and broad understanding across the role that our media assets can play has been a really great journey to be on with so many different partners across the Kroger company. We tactically, for curiosity and any listeners coming in, of course, we've got an opportunity to give wider exposure and visibility into how brands can tap into our different assets. And so we do that through regularly published playbooks, whether it's category specific, whether it's supporting key merch events and seasonal goals that they have. We, of course, partner and build strategies together on brand specific activations that are going to drive the right business impact, and we can customize for a CPG and for the Kroger community and the support that we have in those different spaces. So there's awesome connection, awesome cohesion, and common shared goals on the purpose of what our assets can do for brands, for the Kroger company, but most importantly for our shared customers.
Okay. Now, we've been talking about all the conversations that have been taking place across the industry. Most of them tend to focus on the business side of things. Now, you've been alluding all along to this, but I wanted to ask you, how do you strike the right balance between creating a network that is going to appeal to advertisers while making sure that you are delivering an ideal customer experience? None of this works without any strong shopper engagement, right?
You're 100% right. And the business model falls over if we're not keeping the customer at the heart of all the different decisioning that we're bringing forward. So it starts with the core tenet that we've had since the beginning about how are we making customers' lives easier, right? That happens first. And of course, when we do that and we're bringing the right science to the forefront, we also clearly will be able to deliver against the second tenet, which is around media accountability for advertisers. So you're 100% right. Retail media will not work if an organization is not keeping the customer at the center of their planning processes, the practices. And if customers don't find it useful, they don't find it inspiring, they don't engage, that's going to erode. That's the first trigger point to erode the value proposition of retail media. So we focus manically on making sure that we're keeping the best interest of shoppers at the forefront of the different decisions that we make. It's influencing targeting, it's influencing inventory placement on O&O, it's influencing the ultimate experience through different click-throughs that we unlock for our shoppers. So that is really critical. We talked quite a bit about science along the way, and data science does make a difference. Again, on O&O, it's a digitally constrained shelf. Every bit of that screen has to work hard for the customer. How do we help customers build baskets? And as you zoom out and you look at the work that we do holistically in that space, in 2022 alone, we had over 2 trillion personalized product recommendations served up to our customers. And 50% of the items added to basket were from personalized search results. Again, that has to start first and foremost. And then we overlay discovery on top of that because customers are looking for discovery and inspiration in those places too. And ultimately, when all these come together, and even when you kind of zoom out and you go to more of the traditional awareness investment choices upper funnel, we can reduce wasted impressions. We don't want to create more ad clutter. Advertising isn't going away. How do we make advertising most effective for the ultimate consumer of who it's landing on? So, as we talk about Kroger precision marketing and the impact and influence that we can have in the ad ecosystem, it comes back to do the right thing for the consumer, do the right thing for the prospect shopper, and good results will follow. As we build business plans, as we assess different opportunities that we're exploring, as we look at the investments that we're making for our business to continue to support the demand that we've created, it really is around the right commercial implications, commercial decisions. It's around the right technology that underpins it. It's the operational practices that can support it. And we've got to make sure that the 3 legs of the stool are all operating and firing effectively. And all 3 legs of those stools are supporting a customer business, a customer need and a business outcome. So I love, Peter, your question and the specificity of that question there, because for anybody listening in that has interest and energy about bringing a new retail media entity to life, that really needs to be the first place that they start, and then they can harmonize and build different practices around that.
Right. Okay, so final question to wrap it all up and kind of pull everything together that you've been talking about. What recommendations would you give to brands? What would you say are the best practices for working with Kroger Precision Marketing?
To brands specifically, great question. Yeah, and it's been great to watch so many brands, engaged in the assets that we have and other players have over the last few years. I'd say for those that haven't yet, stepped into the mix, here's a couple things that they might want to consider. One, the best place to spend those first dollars is in the digital shelf. I mentioned 85% of the top 500 keywords search terms being unbranded. It's a massive opportunity for brands to influence shopping decisions in that constrained environment. Those first dollars need to go onto owned and operated. The second is retail media absolutely will influence business decisions more holistically and business opportunities more holistically. So think about reducing silos within organizations. All right, the days of trade versus shopper versus national investment teams coming out of agency versus e-com teams all planning separately are gone. If that's how brands continue to show up, they are going to be incredibly ineffective and inefficient with their dollars. So get around the same table, bring your investment teams together, bring your strategists together, bring your finance teams together, bring everybody under the same roof and plan together. Hold media accountable together. Lock in on those KPIs, hold on tight, evaluate and optimize over time. You're going to change your investment over time. That's good. That means you're learning. That means you're changing. And last is make sure that retail media is being leveraged to tap into incremental growth for brands. For those that are going to hold on to it for low funnel conversion tactics and just focus in on buy rate or just focus in on re-engagement from existing shoppers, that they're minimizing the total potential pool and impact that retail media can play for their brand. So for the retail media players that have more maturity and longevity into the assets that they have and sophistication across the different environments that they've created and bridges that they've built across CTV, across social, across programmatic, lean in, learn, because that is a really important opportunity for brands to really, unlock the power of retail media. And in many cases, in most cases for us, we're fortunate that our brands have brought their agency partners right in the mix. Agencies are eager to take advantage of these assets holistically for brands. So lean in on that. Lean in, because this is how agencies, brands, publishers, retailers, the ad tech ecosystem come together to drive change and powerful impact in this industry. So I'm super passionate about where the industry is and most importantly, where the industry can go and the role that all of us together can do to, incent the right change and incent the right impact. So look forward to where we are, 3 to 5 years from now, because there's no doubt there is no shortage of change that's happening around us and opportunity that change is bringing forward to really drive even greater business impact on these ad dollars that are being spent.
Awesome. That wraps up this episode of Clarity in Commerce. On behalf of everyone here at the Mars Agency, I just want to again thank Cara Pratt of Kroger Precision Marketing for being with us here today. You truly are a pioneer, and you gave us so many tremendous insights. Just thank you so much.
Absolutely, Peter. Thanks for having me.
Want to thank all of you for joining us here today too. We know you're very busy. Your time is very valuable. So we hope you're walking away with some insights that are going to help make your jobs a little bit easier, your work a little bit more productive. If you need more information about retail media, I strongly encourage you to visit the Insights and Thinking blog on the marsagency.com website, where we've got a lot of white papers and reports and articles that can tell you just about everything you need to know on that topic, including Part 1 of our interview with Cara, where she discusses some of the more foundational elements that have made retail media so valuable to brand marketers, including, and perhaps most importantly, the ability to leverage first-party data to reach more targeted, more relevant audiences. We also recently published the second edition of our Retail Media Report Card, which this time around evaluates the strengths of 12 different retail media networks, including, of course, KPM, across 62 different criteria that are critical to brand success. And of course, we hope to see you back here in a couple of weeks for the next edition of Clarity in Commerce. Take care, everybody.